Alright, so last up is Empires on Nocturne. We have a few Nocturne cards, but mostly Empires, which is good, whatever. We have Dominate on the board, which seems to be the focus of all strategies. Hey, how do you get there? Well, it costs a lot of money, so we probably need some draw in Enchantress and some money in Fortune, maybe. So anyway, I'm going to open with an Engineer and an Enchantress. The Engineer seems particularly good here because you can double gain if you trash it. Villages, Enchantresses mostly. So that'll be nice. Archive is always nice, especially here with no trashing. Forum is brilliant as usual. So my opponent goes Gladiator and Engineer as opposed to my Enchantress. So I gain a silver here. I don't know if that's right, but I do gain the Enchantress, which I like, and then I pick up another Engineer here. So now I have two Enchantresses and an Engineer in the deck, right, and a silver. But I'm trying to tell you, okay, look, here's another terminal that I'm way over terminal, and this actually cost me some time in the game here. So my opponent is not as terminal. He picks up a village here, even with his engineer, which is very nice, and gets some boon from it. That's what the Blessed Village does, by the way. When you gain it, you get a boon, either now or at the start of your next turn. So that's actually very nice. You can decide when to take the boon, so it makes it a little bit better. I burns his engineer as well to pick up an enchantress alongside his village. So for now, we seem to be doing much of the same thing here. I do come up with a chunk of change here until the silver comes into play, and I go for an archive to hopefully help separate my terminals. I still don't have a village yet. I don't know what I'm waiting on to buy a village, but I should. I really should be buying a village soon. Come on, buy the village. Play this engineer for 2 villages or something. Or village enchantress, buy a village. No, no, no. I was too obsessed. I was too obsessed with the enchantresses because he has the gladiator, right? And he managed to burn one already off the out of the stack. So my narrow-minded thinking was that let me try to cause some problems with the enchantress and hopefully snuff his gladiator. But he has way too many actions. He actually gained a will-o-wisp too from the boons, so that even that helps that much more against the enchantress play. So felt like there, at least then I should have stopped and picked up a village. I do eventually get one, but I think it's a bit too late for me for the kind of terminals that I had. I mean, against the enchantress attacks, you don't really mind too much if you have been over terminal, because you could always play one of your colliding terminals to feed it to the enchantress and then play the one that you want to play. But I don't know. I felt like I was a bit slow because the reason I was slow is because I was playing the enchantress over the engineer. I was frequently put into a decision: do I play enchantress or engineer? And then I choose the enchantress and not play the engineer, not gain things, and that was my problem. The speed anyway. That was what cost me some speed. So we are both going after archives here. So the reason for the archives for me is because um, it actually draws a little bit, and it could help pick out something useful from the top there. The forum and the archive go through the same number of cards, but the archive can save some for the next turn, which is perhaps a bit more valuable at this stage in the game. So in some ways it's kind of like a little bit, thinning. Oh, I've put 2 coppers out of the deck so that when I shuffle now, the deck will be a little bit thinner. I don't know. That's the reason for the archives early up here. So the enchantresses are now empty. Excuse me. We should also keep an eye on that for Triumphal Arc. I believe he split those 5-5, which is nice-ish. I need to get villages ASAP, so I'm gonna pick up the villages here. 2 of them, that is. And hopefully we could start to get the Enchantress chain rolling. Archive also draws a little bit. The draw is kinda weak with just Enchantress being used for draw here. So you see in the bin there are 5 engineers, right? And I think I've only trashed 1 or 2 at most. So definitely my opponent has had the upper hand with gaining, because he chose to play his engineer. Maybe like there was no choice. Maybe he had a village with enchantress and engineer and could have played both of them very easily. But the point is, he had the villages that allowed him to do so, or he had the good sense to play his engineers over his enchantresses, seeing the value. So here, actually exchange our silver for a changeling. So changeling is another Nocturne card. It's very strange. It says when you gain a card costing more than 3, so it's really prompt in the log here. I can't exchange that thing for a changeling. Changeling is a knight, so when I play it in the knight phase, I can't gain any card that is in play. So I figured the silver is way more useful than the changeling. That's a free archive in my mind. So we'll do that now. We will do that now. So another gladiator gets burned off the stack, and my opponent is actually, look, he's well set up. This is where I wanted to be. He had the 3 enchantresses in play last turn. He was able to stick 2 more into play this turn. We both have the same number of villages and enchantresses, 5 each, but actually for the remainder of this game, I am not at all able to ever see my enchantresses in the 3-2 split. So I get 2 here, but I won't see 3 next turn, and I don't understand why not. I really don't understand why not. I don't think our decks are that much different for him to be consistently seeing the 3-2 split, and for me not to be seeing that 3-2 split. Anyways, forum here for me, and a Guardian. The Guardian helps defend against nothing, apparently. No, the Enchantress, never mind. It helps defend against the Enchantress. So it's nice to not have your actions enchanted, although you don't need to be defended from it. You can work around it. I mean, although with the lack of trashing or whatever in the deck, you can run into some problems on some turns, but I think for the most part, you don't necessarily need to be covered by the Guardian to play around this Enchantress thing. So look, there comes 3 Enchantresses into play, and he had the 2 from last turn, so he is humming along very nicely. He goes for a forum and a groundskeeper, single groundskeeper. Maybe a second forum is better for him there. But the single groundskeeper is probably just as a kind of a tiebreaker, because we're both going after dominates, and if we can both buy dominate, well, we'll have roughly the same number of points, except, well, groundskeeper will get him 1 extra, so maybe that's the idea behind the groundskeeper there. Finally, exchange the changeling for an archive, which is nice. I just need a bit of money now, right? And a bit of consistency. I would really like one of these turns to put 3 enchantresses into play. Really like that. So the gladiator stack is very low, and the fortunes are going to be exposed here. I do not have whatever card he showed me there. Now I'm just a turn behind, right? Because he was able to pick up his fortune. Now I have to pick it up on next turn. He'll clear that before me, and then if we go back and forth on the dominates, he'll have that first player advantage, even though he didn't start the game. So now he has first player advantage. He does gain our gold also, which helps to buy dominate. I have our gold because I used one of the boons to gain our gold, luckily. So yeah, fortune for me here. Still no triple enchantress. I don't know where these enchantresses are. Always double enchantress. So now we're just going to go after the dominates here. My opponent making some intelligent reveals with the gladiator and picks up a dominate after clearing that. So that's fairly impressive. Honestly, fairly impressive. I'm not sure that I can do that actually. I'm not sure that I can clear my 5 debt and still have 14 left over for dominate, because my deck is rubbish apparently. Absolute rubbish. So yeah, I pull the fortune of the archives, and this is rather unfortunate, right? I would have liked to see all of those cards in the archive, but I can't do anything about that. I cannot do anything about that. So here, like I said, I am unable to actually clear that and buy dominate, so I feel like my next best option is to go after some groundskeepers. I'm probably not going to be fast enough, given that my opponent can dominate a turn from here, and he's getting, what, 9 extra VP from dominate? The groundskeepers can't keep up. I only have the 1+ buy as well, so I can't get a chunk of change, a chunk of VP from picking up smaller victory points like estates and duchies in bulk. So 24. 24 for my opponent. Easily I dominate and dominate province is possible. Dominate archive is possible. Dominate groundskeeper. Lots of options for my opponent. A lot of options for my opponent. So you can see where this game is going by the scoreline here. He goes for archive forum with his dominate, and I do end up losing this game eventually. I didn't even see this either. He actually piles out the forums because you don't need any plus buy to buy forums. Forum itself gives you the plus buy. So he does come up with 25, or at least 25 anyway, and piles out the forums. I didn't at all see that. But at least I do get to dominate here. I dominate and pick up a province and hope he stalls. I doubt he'll stall with all the archives he has in play, plus the enchantresses coming in, but all we can do is hope, right? So he picks up the 5 forums and wins the match 4-2. 4-2 here. Like I said, I realized my mistake. I over-terminaled myself in the beginning and I lost some time, and well, you see here he had the first play advantage and he made full use of that to win this game. Alright, so I have one more match in the group stage and then we'll move on to the single elimination part of the competition. Like I said, this is 4 points for my opponent, 2 points for me. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one.